give your dog the best start possible. We offer proven tools, products, and supplements backed by our real-world experience and our passion for healthy dogs. Step into the realm of canine wisdom with our podcast, NWA Connie Shows, where we interview dog men and women from around the globe. Discover their talents and insights on breeding, training, nutrition, and the rich history of dogs. Tune in to the most underrated yet influential dog podcast on social media. Your journey into the dog world starts here. All right, everybody, we back. We're gonna do it to it. We got Gus Artiles back in the house. How you doing, Gus?
Doing good.
Good. I was just talking to you before we started. You said you're busy.
Just a little.
That's what's up. All right, man. Anything new in your world?
Nah, just trying to do some quotes here for some contracts and train the dogs and just work. A lot of work.
Yes, sir. So, we're gonna get into a couple different topics. I got a lot of your last show. I got so much great feedback from it. People appreciated your knowledge base, your experience, and just coming to the show and sharing with us. Well, we're finna get a little bit inside the dogs, as they say. So, and I want to start with breeding dogs. How long you been breeding dogs?
Well, that's how I started. It was like 1983, 85, around there.
Wow. Okay.
Back in Hialeah Gardens.
Right.
I dabbled a little bit before that, but I didn't really do it like for like business wise, to get a kennel business going and producing dogs and training them and selling them.
How different would you say, in your opinion, is breeding military police canines versus guys like me that more target pet homes?
Well, it's a totally different ball game. When I started like everybody, but once you get to the point where you're trying to produce to sell dogs to the DOD and to other brokers, you have to like produce breeds that when you go to test them, they have to have that massive food drive. Like when they just ate, you show them a handful of food, they still want to go after that food. You know what I mean? They have to have true food drive so that you can use more techniques in your toolbox as a trainer. You got to have the dog that has the ball drive, extreme, with the extreme hunt drive, because some dogs will hunt forever, and some dogs will just chase the ball but won't hunt. So you have to really screen them, and dogs that have excellent biting, and then you have to make sure that they have the good heart for the protection. They're not fearful, and also they grade good on gunfire. And then you got to do the physical and all that stuff. So it's more in depth, and you're limited to the breeds that have more of that when you breed them. You know what I mean? It's like some breeds, they're very good for pet and for personal protection, but they can't do that advanced bite work, like that offensive bite work that you need for like a patrol dog or a military dog or a security dog. You got to have a dog that has the will to go to the bite and bring the fight to the suspect. And it's sort of like weeds out a lot of breeds, and I guess that's why most of the times in the back of a police car you only see the Dutchies, the Shepherds, and the Malleys. Unfortunately, lately that's how it's been. When I first started, I mean, there was like all the breeds were like, they had some really strong progenies. You know, like they had. When I started, there was a lot of Dobermans were super strong. The Rotties were super strong. The Pit Bulls were incredible. Um, all the other breeds were, you could find strong dogs, but in the last 20 years, 30 years, it's been really, really hard to do that if you're not really breeding, all working Dutch Shepherds, Belgian Malinois, and German Shepherds. So I've been sort of forced. I mean, I love all the other breeds. What I care about is a good dog, that works good, that has a good heart and a good attitude,
Right.
and shows that he wants to be trained and that has potential. And I love to work those type of dogs, but for this type of business, you're sort of limited to those three breeds, unfortunately, because they're the ones that exhibit that they have that really high prey drive, that really, they have that good defense, they have that good fighting instinct in them, and all the other tools, that you need to do advanced training. You need to motivate the dogs and the advanced training would sometimes use as a secondary reward the food, the bite with the tug, or or the ball. So you need to have more tools in your toolbox to be able to do the advanced work with more
Right.
techniques as a trainer. So that's why a lot of people use the shepherds. But
Let me ask you this, Gus. Is it that popularity killed those breeds for us for us the fire they used to have with the Doberman and the
man,
Rottweiler?
I love Dobermans. I love Rotties.
Yeah.
I love pit bulls, man. My
Yeah.
first dogs was pit bulls. My first 3, 4 dogs were pit bulls.
Right.
My dad was into the shepherds and the Dobies and the
Yeah.
Rotties. And but my first dogs were pit bulls, and I used to like those other breeds too. But I don't really know what happened. I just know that when I started doing my business, my kennel business, I was very fortunate. I started dealing with guys from Belgium. That there was a guy in Belgium in Merksplas called Gerard Van Ness. That was
Mm-hmm.
the first guy that sent me a dog. So he actually sent me like 20 dogs after that first one that were like incredible, incredible biting, incredible ball drive and hunt drive. I mean, they're like hard biters. I mean, extreme drive. And that bloodline, I remember the bloodline he was using a lot were dogs out of Moose and Bows.
Mm-hmm.
So I was very fortunate when I started that my first few stock for breeding came out of, and as I got into the business and started learning more and progressing as a trainer and as a breeder, I started realizing, hey man, that bloodline's stout in Belgium, and NVBK and EPO and Saint Hubert, all the dog sports there,
Mm-hmm.
and they still have really good offspring. So I started off with that bloodline. I was very lucky because a lot of guys, sometimes they import and they get stuck with duds, and
Right.
it really doesn't help you. And then when you're starting, you're limited to the funds that you have to work with. And then if somebody sends you something that's not going to produce good, you're out of luck. But I guess I was lucky from the beginning. So
Yeah. So you seen these dogs down through the years,
right.
and you said that they kind of weakened over time. So do you see like more so in the USA?
It's not. I don't think it's that they weakened
Uh-huh.
because now I see some that are still strong.
Okay.
It's just
Yeah.
like the quantity of them. You know what I mean?
Oh
Like,
yeah,
as
availability.
many of them. They're not
Yeah.
as abundant.
Right.
But I
Right.
still see Rotties and Dobies and Pits that are phenomenal. I mean,
Yeah.
they're out
Yeah.
there. I mean, Corsos. I'm
Right.
training a few of them that are awesome. And I don't think it's really that they don't exist. I think it's like that they're not as many, and they're not as. I don't think that they're breeding. The breeding is not the same as before. I mean, I'm not into those breeds. I mean, my world is the working dog world. Like
Right.
what the what I sell a lot to brokers. And to
Yeah.
trainers. I do a
Right.
lot of wholesaling,
Right.
because the importing's gotten real expensive, and people come here because they're gonna get the dog that's trained, just
Let,
like
let,
in Belgium, just like in
right.
Europe.
Yeah,
And
okay.
the dogs are
Okay.
gonna be strong, and I have the stock that they have in Europe. So
You got the stock
it's
that they
like,
have in Europe. Okay. All
I
right.
have it here. I've had it here for many years,
Mm.
and you know, I sell it. I don't nowadays when people are setting prices for dogs is like, how much did the last one sell for? And so if it sold for an obscene amount of money, they're gonna, of course, want to sell theirs for that much. You know what I mean? I haven't done that. I've stayed
Mm.
like, okay, these dogs are worth this much, and I've put this much time into them, and that's how much I'm gonna price them at.
Right.
So usually I'm like at half of what everybody else is. You know what I'm saying?
Really?
So
Okay.
I sell a lot. I wholesale a lot. Plus, I
Yeah.
have a big following in the private.
In the
And it's
private sector.
usually second and third time buyers. Fourth, I have a guy that's bought 4 generations from me.
Mm.
It's like a lot of return business. So, but like I said, I was lucky from the beginning. I mean, I dealt with that guy. That guy was an honest guy. I mean, Gerard Van Ness, he was from Mersplas, Belgium. He was good. I dealt with a lot of guys. I've been to Belgium a lot of times, and the Netherlands, and into Germany, Slovakia, Eastern Europe, all over the place looking for dogs, and bringing back a lot of dogs. But I always, in the back of my mind, wanted to set up my kennel in a way where I wasn't reliant. I wanted to bring the bloodlines, and I wanted to breed like they did, which they do a lot of line breeding. You
Yeah,
know,
I was going to ask you about that
yeah,
to keep the and then it wasn't probably it was extreme to extreme. You wasn't trying to lose anything, right?
right. I didn't try to reinvent the wheel. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I saw how the successful breeders do it over there, and I just did the same thing they do, but I do it here. I do what works. I don't try to reinvent the wheel by doing other weird stuff. You know what I mean? I do what they do, which is line breeding. You know,
Right.
and they stick to, they combine their lines with 2 to 3 families of lines of dogs, and then they combine those to keep the variety out of the lines. Because if you work with 2 to 3 lines, you're going to have a lot more consistency in
Hmm.
your reproduction, and that's what you need for this business. When you're trying to produce, in volume, you have to have consistency. You can't, like, do a lot of outcrossing, because what happens there is, you have, when you breed, you're not really breeding to the father and the mother of the dog.
Right.
You're breeding to the line behind those two
The
dogs.
characteristics of that family. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because those two dogs in a litter might not show themselves
Mhm.
if you're doing outcrossings. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
you don't know which descendants are coming out in that litter. But if you're doing line breeding, and you have consistency in there, and you have very little variety,
Mhm.
you have double sire in one line, you know, triple sire in the other line,
Mhm.
and you have, you go into the third, fourth generation. You're not going below that. You're going to find yourself producing consistency,
Yeah.
and that's what you need in the litter. Instead of having one dog that's really good and the rest are like pet quality, you're going to have maybe 4, 5. And there's a few lines in Europe that are been doing that for many years. And if you can tap onto those lines, you're going to be successful. The thing is that if this is a very different type of breeding. A breeding for working is, it's all about performance. It's not about looks. The looks have nothing to do with it.
Right.
It's all about the how the dog works, how the dog's temperament, the dog's health, the clarity of his mind, how his mind functions.
Right. Yeah.
I'm big on a fast dog. When I used to be a decoy in sport, the dogs that gave me the most problems were the dogs were the fastest
Mm.
to the bite, the fastest react. There's 2 types of dogs. There's a methodical dog and there's a reactor dog. You know, you see the dogs that are in the kennel constantly moving, that they can't stop. You know, they can't stop. Their heart's always pumping. They can't. Those are react. I call those reactor dogs. And then
Mhm.
you got the other dogs that think. They're more calm. They think and they do things. They're just as good. But the other one, the reactor dog, is like working at 5 times the speed of the other one. You know, and they come to the bite a lot faster. They react a lot faster. They bite harder. They just respond quickly. That's
Mhm.
what I look for
Right. And you know
working.
what I noticed in I know a few breeders that breed I would say it's similar to gang dogs, like how the pit bull breeders bred back in the day. And even with the outcross, I would see some of these pedigrees where they were outcross would still be kind of in the family. So they
Oh
wouldn't
yeah,
lose. It wouldn't be no total
yeah.
different
The
dog. Yeah.
the reason that I've noticed why breeders do that is, and the reason why I do it, how I do it is, I have three lines
Hmm.
that I've brought down through the 40 something years that I've been doing this. And what I do is I combine. I know which females are going to work with which males,
Hmm.
and it's not just about the female and the male. It's about the descendants behind that female and the descendants behind that male. If you don't have a lot of variety and it's a heavy line bred dog there, and you have another one that you're combining it with that is the same way, heavily line bred with not much variety in the bloodline, you're going to get more consistency because the genes when they hit, there's less to pick from. Like if
Right.
you have dogs that have a hard bite, a hard entry, uh, a lot of bite pressure, super good structure, size, healthy hips, clear mind, a lot of courage, good with the gun. Um, you're going to produce that because you don't have very variety in there from weak dogs that don't have that. All those dogs have been proven to be the same way working wise.
Hmm.
Okay, but line breeding is a two-edged sword. I look for, and I'm very picky for a lot of things I'm not going to accept from my females and my males. And if I see them, I will not breed them. Because when you do line breeding, just like you're producing all the positive, you're going to
The
throw
negative.
all that negative too.
Yeah,
That's the
yeah.
problem. That you have to be very picky when you're doing line breeding. Because, for example, if you got dogs that love to kill buckets, bro,
Oh, yeah.
don't breed those dogs, bro, because
Right.
they're all gonna kill buckets.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like if you see a dog that likes to when he's barking and he's real hot, likes to come back and bite the handler, don't breed that dog, bro, because that's highly reproductive.
Yeah.
That's in their
Traits.
genetic compound. And they get
Yeah, it is.
frustrated. They get frustrated when they can't go to the bite and they say, "Oh, you know what? If I bite him, he's gonna let go of the leash and I'm gonna be able to do what I want to do, which is bite the decoy." You
Hmm.
know, they like to take shortcuts. You know, but that's highly reproducible. You can't, you know, if you have a dog that's gun shy, forget about that dog as a stud or a breeding female. You got to weed out a lot of things. If you see, what's another thing that's a big issue? Oh, stuff in the kennel, doing crazy stuff in the kennel.
Yeah.
No, don't. You know, that's another dog that I'm gonna weed out. But it's gotten to the point once you've been doing it 40 something years, those are things you look for when you start. And then when you're like in your like 10 to 15 to 20 years down the road breeding, you've already eliminated a lot of the stuff that you do in the beginning.
Hmm.
And then you've already know which lines, but you're gonna see a lot of that stuff coming up whenever. See, the thing is that in this business, the females, when they get to like 6 years old, I give them away. I give them to a farmer that needs a dog to guard the yard. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? And then I find them a home. And then I keep the best offsprings, the young ones. I only breed
Right.
young females.
Right.
And when you bring in new stock, you know, for example, my breeding kennel right now is full of young females. You know, strong females. I mean, females that bite hard, that hit hard, they're fast, all the stuff that I like that are healthy. And then those females, once they get to like 6 years old, and I move them on, I keep their best ones out of the litters that I see when I'm working them, because you have to, in this business, you don't only have to know. I've raised since I started all the studs and all the breeding females from a puppy, trained them, and selected all of the strong ones and kept them for the breeding program.
Right.
I have not gone and bought females and all of a sudden started breeding. No,
Yeah.
I've known them, I've trained them, I know their character, I know their temperament, I know their attitude for working. I know that they have to have all the bells and all the whistles, the ball drive so they can throw it, the bike, the bike drive. I'm big on food drive. I let the dogs eat, and then 30 minutes later, I'll bring them out of the kennel and I'll show them a handful of food. If that dog wants to eat that food out of my hand, that's what I'm looking for. That's what I
Right.
want to throw, because that's highly reproductive. You can throw that in the breedings. But if you have at the beginning, when you're breeding, you don't have that selection. You buy a female, and then from there, because you don't have all the money to have a bunch of females, so you have to start off and little by little working your way into something good. As far
Right.
as the breeding program, it takes
So let me
decades.
ask you this: like, guys purchase dogs from you. Do you allow them, or do they kind of work off you? Because that's what I did. I didn't want to start from scratch. My cousin, he had a kennel down there. He'd been successful with his dogs for a long time, and I would just go back to him. I would work off his family of dogs to build my program.
Of course.
Instead, yeah,
Yeah. That if you have that situation, man, you got it made. I
yeah,
didn't have that. I mean,
yeah,
I didn't have
yeah,
that when I started. It was like I don't know. I think it's still like that though. Nobody helps anybody.
yeah.
Nobody talks to nobody, and you know they talk
How,
about
well,
people, but
well, the
they don't
field
help
you
each
in,
other
I
out.
bet it's highly competitive, though, right? Because
Oh,
everybody trying to. It's not.
oh yeah, it's
Oh, it
super
is. Okay.
competitive. It,
Uh
it's
huh.
it, the dog game on every aspect is super competitive,
Yeah, it
and
is.
it's really hard to find someone you can work with. But once you do, I mean, you got a big head start on the game.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Can you tell me? I'm not in your breed, but some people in here are, and some of us who are trying to learn it. What
Okay.
is the difference in the KNPV lines and the NVBK lines?
Okay. The MVBK lines. I got to be careful when I answer this one because I don't want to piss my friends off back in
Okay.
Europe.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because those guys, they're very, you can't say anything about their country that's negative, because if you do, they're going to burn you.
Oh, okay.
But
Okay. Well, be careful. Yeah.
exactly. So let me see how I'm going to answer this one. It's a loaded question.
Mhm.
Um, the KMPV lines are for police work. I mean,
Yeah.
to raise civil dogs that bite people, that are strong, clear-headed. Bro, that's the best program in the world, bro.
Mhm.
I mean, for producing reality dogs. And
Right.
they have the best trainers and the strongest dogs, bro. I mean,
You do. Okay.
that program, the way they've got that going, that's a machine. That's a
Right.
a,
And
a,
and and
a
let me let
canine
me.
producing machine, the KMPV, bro.
And that's the Royal Dutch Police Dog Association, correct?
Yeah, yeah. And
Okay.
what they do is they train and certify their dogs, and then they sell them.
Hmm.
Okay, and then it's a factory, bro. They got tons of clubs, awesome decoys, awesome trainers. I mean, you got guys with 50, 60 years experience running clubs. It's unmatchable. I mean, and then the NVBK, the thing about the NVBK is that the program is a lot harder to train, and it takes longer. And the dogs uh, don't get any help from the decoys I mean, they have to come out and they have to bite. They have to be strong.
Mm-hmm.
It's a sport. I mean, a lot of guys train, like the barking for reward instead of the barking for the bite. Um, it depends how you race the dog, but the decoy work is done where the guy's not moving around. The guy's like a tree, and the dog has to bring the fight to the decoy, and it makes a dog with a different mentality from a puppy. The dog grows up thinking, "Hey, I'm gonna eat you before you hurt me." It's a different mentality. That's why the dogs are stronger, harder biting, because they come to the decoy and they bite, and they're biting, bro, and they're
Yeah.
working you over, and the decoy's doing nothing but absorbing the bite. You know what I'm saying? He's
Right.
not even moving. I mean, and the KMPV, the decoy runs and he charges and he moves after he gets bit. There's different types of bites. And the MVBK, it's like a tree, bro. The guy's not moving. The decoy does not help the dog. So it develops a different dog. I think the dogs are a lot stronger, and harder
Mm-hmm.
biting. It takes longer to train the program because they have the scenarios are different.
Mm-hmm.
They change them from trial to trial. I mean, like the defense of the handler is never the same. The attacks are never the same. It's harder. It takes longer to train. Um, the trainers are awesome in Belgium. I mean, the program is incredible. I mean, and it produces super super strong dogs, super
Right.
super strong dogs, great dogs, and their blood is awesome. And to be honest with you, bro, when I was in Belgium, I used to see a lot of brokers, and their sub brokers, the big brokers in the Netherlands, used to send a lot of sub brokers,
Yeah.
guys that look for dogs at the MVBK clubs,
Right.
and those dogs were awesome. I mean,
Yeah.
but they take them back there, they train them, and they turn them into beasts. I mean, and they also breed. They do a lot of breeding in the Netherlands. That is awesome. I mean, their dogs are huge and strong. Both programs are awesome. Those are the best programs there are. That's what I like to work. And
Right.
I train everything in that philosophy, both philosophies, because they're both awesome.
When it comes to the KNPV dogs, historically, what has been some of the most notable dogs you can think about that may have created lines that came off of?
Aras, Hans Peg's dog, Aras, a Dutch
Iris.
Shepherd that was a beast. And then when I decoyed a French ring trial from a guy that brought another dog that he sold. I forget his name. I think T Jack or something. I forget his name, but it was a red dog with black muzzle. That dog was a beast too. They tried to train him for French ring, but the thing is that most of those dogs are too civil to be sport dogs. You know what I mean? They're when in French ring you have to do a lot of guarding. So you have to train the dog in prey drive. So the dog will be clean on the outs and quick to the extra bite, to the escape bite. And the KMPV, you don't train the dogs like that. You train the dogs to be more emotional on the barking, so they can be civil and they want to bite. They don't see the equipment. They don't see the sleeve. They want to bite a person. So there's two different mentalities. I mean, you got a dog that's raised from a puppy to train to bite a decoy that's stationary, and he has to do all the work. That dog's going to grow up more of a serious street dog.
Mhm.
And a sport like French ring, you have to teach the dog to out and guard, do escorts, you know, blind searches. And you can't teach the dog to be civil. You can't work them in the same way. You have to work them in prey drive. And with a Sioux, a lot of biting, calming them down,
Mhm.
outs, clean outs, and stuff like that. It's a totally different philosophy. So when that dog came to that trial in Massachusetts, you could tell that he was too civil. He was never going to do good outs, good guards.
Right.
It's he was a police dog. He was not a sport dog.
That's
So
something I want to ask you about the difference in when you training police and military. Is it a difference in the dog in behavior?
um, No, they're both apprehension dogs. You know what I mean? And
Uh-huh.
detection dogs. I mean, you have
Right.
to look at it as I'm raising an apprehension dog and a detection dog. You
Hmm.
know,
Right.
when you do the foundation to train a military dog or a police dog, and then you hold off. If you're like gonna sell them to the military, you could start them as soon as you get the contract. You put them right away on the explosives, or you pull them on the narcotics, on the odors. You wait till you get the contract and you start working them, or you have already 5, 10 dogs ready to go on each one. And then when you
Mhm.
have the when you or you have a if you're a subcontractor and the prime comes to you, hey, I need 10 dogs. You know what I mean? Okay, I got five. I'll finish the other five. You got to give me another 3, 4 months.
Right.
6 months. You know what I mean? It depends. It depends on the situation, but they're both pretty much the same. As far as the upbringing for the training and the actual training, and then you do the foundation, and then later when the dog gets sold, the dog's already made, and then what they work on is scenario training. Departments, like to work on different scenarios, what
Mhm.
they find on the road that gives them problems on the last apprehension.
Right.
They went after a guy underneath a car. The dog didn't go underneath the car right away, so let's work on that on the next scenario training. Different things like that.
Right.
But it's first foundation, you make the dog, and then later, when the dog is sold, there's post sales training, which is the the scenario training.
Right. Do you keep up with a lot of the dogs KMVP national champions? Maybe in the last 10 years, you keep up with that type of stuff?
Man, I've been so busy here in my own world, just training and selling, and I mean, I
Right.
deal with a lot of brokers. Like they call me. Like, I'm not allowed to say who they are because
Yeah.
they make me sign confidentiality contracts. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I sell, I wholesale on the dogs.
Yeah. Gotcha. Gotcha.
So I'm always like working to fill those orders.
Right. So you said bomb detection. What does the primary skills of these type dogs going to have? What does a total dog look like?
Okay, how I do it a little different than most people. What I do is like I'll first find out if like the dog is real calm. I'll steer him towards explosives. If the dog is like more pumped up, than narcotics. And they both they have to have a phenomenal. What I do is I teach they have to have phenomenal hunt drive. They can't give it up on the hunt.
Mhm.
I start them off on open area searches. I start with a small area, then I go to a bigger area until I can do 5 acres, 10 acres. I've had dogs that could do 20 acres. You know, you guide him, you walk with him, but he'll hunt it.
Right.
And then after he's good, good there. Then I start doing working on the boxes, and I'll
Hmm.
start putting them on the order,
Hmm.
and then I teach him the box, uh, the one box, and then I teach him the two boxes on top, and then I go a little higher to teach him higher finds. Then I put them through different stuff like searching a room, and after that I go to the vehicles. I go to bigger areas, and then I try to do it in time, under time,
Hmm.
'cause to to see uh, to see who works quicker. And
Right.
it's like if I see that the dog likes to, he's like real jacked up and he hits everything. I narcotics. If the dog is real calm, doesn't touch anything, explosives. And
Mhm.
basically, it's all the same training except for when you get to the putting the dogs on the odor. Then everything changes.
Right. So I was thinking about something when we was putting this together. Man, when they sent them dogs in and they went and got Bin Laden.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Man, do
SEAL
you
Team
know
Six.
anything about those dogs?
Man, all I know is the videos that I've seen on YouTube about the dog that I forget the dog's name now, but that's that's pretty incredible, man. And the guy was in a
Yeah.
second floor, had to go upstairs in the dark. There was other
Right.
people in the room. I don't know. I think they shot the guy before. I think they used the dog before they got to Bin Laden. I think they shot Bin Laden, and the dog had bites before.
Oh,
And from
okay.
what I understand, yeah. But I think they shot him.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
There was another guy in the tunnel. What was his name? The other guy, um, Baghdadi or whatever. Was that his name?
No, I'm not
That
sure.
guy
I'm not
got
sure.
eaten.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they sent him in a tunnel, and he ate the dude. But
Okay. Somebody said he was handled by Will Chesney.
oh,
Um, yeah. Uh, we got Corso Kyle out the UK. He's asking, has Gus had experience with the Duke's Portoise line dogs? I'm hoping I'm
which one?
saying that. It's called the man, let me blow this up, brother. Damn, it ain't showing when I blow it up. It's called, okay, I'm gonna spell it. I was telling Gus before we started, I didn't make straight A's in school. Uh
You're not the only one.
Deux Dukes Ducks Poitois
The
Potto
patois?
Portois. Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
Portois.
yeah.
Yeah.
The patois, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had a few come through my hands, but like initially they were strong dogs. The initially the thing is that I don't I don't breed exactly to the dog. I mean, I try a strong dog to see if he throws, but I really stay away if he's not related to the other females that I have and the lines that I'm working, because I know I'm going to get a lot of variety, and it's going to take a while for me to take that out of my. I'm going to have to sell those dogs. You know what I mean? I'm not
Right.
going to be able to pick and keep,
Right.
so that
Right.
I can, and then I have to learn more lines. It's really complicated. It's real. So I if I get a dog from another bloodline that's strong, I basically train it and sell it.
Okay,
But
so you won't even allow him in the family. You're not gonna undo because
yeah.
I get you saying you're gonna undo all your work with a cross like that.
Well, what I do is like the only time I undo my breeding is when the females get too old or my stud gets too old,
Right.
and then I have to go, but I go to the offsprings that are the strongest ones that they've produced.
Mhm.
So basically, the bloodlines that I worked with the most, okay, it was the Musabos at the beginning, and then I went to I went to Belgium, and I met this dude Verdonk,
Mhm.
and he sold me a dog named Rufus. And oh my God, that dog, everything he hit was fire. And I sold so many dogs. That was way back in the late 80s, early 90s. Rufus. A lot of people in South Florida know that dog. I mean, there's videos of him on my YouTube channel. That dog was strong, bro. He was
Mhm.
an MBBK Cat 1. And this dog, he threw really good, and I got a lot of good breeding stock. So I combined. I really never knew what bloodline he was or he came out of, but I combined that with what I got from Gerard Van Ness, the Musabos,
Mhm.
and that really clicked. And that,
Right.
that's that was the beginning of the Von Martellus kennel bloodline.
Okay.
That was
So
really the foundation.
okay, let's get into some of your dogs, some of your most notable dogs, if you don't mind going through them, telling us about them, what was special about them,
Well,
the lineages and
and
accomplishments.
and the Dutchies, Malleys, or Shepherds or German
I want,
Shepherds.
hey, they want it all, brother. We
Okay,
greedy
let's
over
go with
here.
with the Malinois.
Okay.
My first one was Rufus, the stud,
Hmm.
because I basically got a lot of females from Gerard Van Ness out of Merckx Plus, Belgium, and I got a lot of females from him, and then I combined it to Rufus, and then out of there, I went back to Belgium, and I visited Bart Ballon at his club,
Mm-hmm.
and bro, that that was something else, bro. That
Mm-hmm.
guy, that guy was the best trainer I've ever seen, bro. And I mean, he had the best collection of handlers and dogs in that club, the Hoboken Club in Belgium.
Mm-hmm.
The strongest dogs, the best training. I mean, all the provincial champions were there, bro. And I met a lot of guys there, and I pulled a lot of dogs out of that club.
Mm. Okay.
That was back in the Zot days for Bart. He was dominating back there. That guy's awesome. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I never got any blood out of Zot. I couldn't find any females or any puppies or anything. But I bought a male out of one of his handlers in his club. His name is Gunter Gautier, and he used to have a real strong dog that was a son of Atem, out of Jean Lopez, which is another guy that Atem was a foundation dog in Belgium for a lot of great champions, and that guy was great trainer too. He won the national championship a bunch of times, and he had really good dogs.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't buy it from him. I bought it from a guy named Van der Rappi, and
Mm-hmm.
I think he was in Ghent, Belgium. And from Gunter Gautier's male and a female, her name was Toes. This was back in the 2000, 2001, when the euro came out. I don't remember if it was they went from the French francs to or the Belgian francs to the euros. It was that year, 2000, 2001, something like that. And I got a male out of there. I got two males out of there.
Mm-hmm.
And man, his name was Zorro. The problem with Zorro was he wasn't a sport dog, and I was trying to make him a sport dog. He was a police dog. That dog was civil, man.
Mm-hmm.
And but the dog, everything he hit produced.
Right.
Size, aggression, health. He threw. And
Yeah.
I got Toes, and then I combined the ATIM lines, that male and that female,
Uh-huh.
with the Musambos and the daughters of Rufus. And also I kept a male out of Rufus. His name was G Mustang,
Okay.
and he was also a very good producer. So it was Rufus, Zorro, G Mustang, and then a son of Zorro named Abendigo. We used to call him Bendy.
Uh-huh.
He was big and strong too.
Yeah.
I used to use him in my security company for narcotics. So he was trained in apprehension and narcotics, but he threw too, and he was a stud dog for us for a while. And then after that, um, I imported a dog out of uh, out of the Netherlands named Rex. Okay, that he had. I found out he had moose and bulls in his lines.
Mm.
So that's what interested me, and he was big and strong. And then um, out of that one, I got King Kong, which is a black Mali
Mm-hmm.
Dutch Shepherd. He had some Dutch Shepherd in him too. He
Right.
came out of a daughter of Rex, and then I imported another Dutchie that was Musambos also. His name was Bart,
Mm-hmm.
and I bred Bart to a daughter of Rex, and I got King Kong. That dog threw too. The only
Mm.
problem with that dog was the his offsprings were too aggressive. You know what I mean? But
Mm.
but he had a lot of he was super fast to the bite, and he had a really hard bite.
Right.
He had a really hard bite, and he had size.
When you say too aggressive, what do you mean? Like they just had a minds of their own, they want to do what the hell they want to do?
Bro, it's like once they got to that 5 to 6 years of age,
Yeah.
and like these dogs, you work them a lot when they're young,
Right.
and then you compete with them, or you work them, you know, for whatever, and then he's trained, and then you got others that are coming up, and you don't dedicate as much time to those. And then he sees himself in the kennel, he gets pissed off because he's used to coming out to the training field every day and getting worked. So they just get salty, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
and then they just come out when you do bring them out with a chip on their shoulder.
Yeah.
And then you got to watch yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
Because they want to hit everything and everyone. You know what I mean? And that's
Right.
the thing about these Dutchies and these Malleys. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But so that's what happened there. And then now there's another line in the Netherlands that's really good, which is the peg lines. And I
Pig.
bought, yeah, and I bought a puppy named Neptune out of the peg lines that came to Miami,
Mm-hmm.
and I worked them and I trained them, and the dog became a huge, strong, and he was a blue Dutchie.
Mm-hmm.
It's a rare color, and I worked him, and I said, let me try him. Let me try him. I really don't know what bloodlines are in there.
Mm-hmm.
I I said, let me try him with some of the offsprings that I have from a female that I bought from another guy that's an awesome breeder in the Netherlands. His name is Michael Pigeons, Mike's Place. That guy has good dogs, and he's done a lot of good breedings. And he sold me a female. Her name is Xenia. And Xenia and Neptune, the peg lines with his lines, have produced awesome litters, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm talking about awesome litters. I mean, extreme drive on the retrieve, on the bite, speed to the bite, a lot of entry, bite pressure, clear-headedness, temperament, like a
Mm.
German Shepherd.
Right.
I mean, I'm talking about quality dogs with size, bro. The hips, super clear, elbows. Haven't seen any problems with cancer or nothing. With a
Mm.
lot of attitude and clear-headedness,
Right.
which is something that was you know pleasantly received after all the aggression and bucket killing that I've seen, and throughout the years. And I'm talking about a dog that doesn't have. I don't find faults in that dog. I mean, he's he's uh he's just a really good dog. His father was Biko. Biko was in the nationals, I think, and his grandfather was Big Roy. He comes out of Big Roy, Biko, and then Neptune. And that line has worked very nicely with Michael Pigeons' line from Mike's Place is the kennel. It's the
Okay.
kennel name out of
Right.
the Netherlands. So I've been working a lot of those dogs, and they've given me some really nice breeding females too that are big, strong,
Right.
and I finally got that attitude, like that temperament, like that quality attitude and a working dog, you know what I mean? And I
Right.
got it. I really got that when I started breeding that peg line.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
That really
Let,
put
let-
that into that really brought stability mentally to the VAK lines.
oh, gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, and I'm talking about a dog that bites, bro, and hits, and hunts for the ball, not gonna give it up, and has health. I mean, the total package. I mean,
Right. That's
I've
what's
had luck.
up.
I've had good luck with them. That's my
Yeah.
experience.
Right.
Yeah. So that's the Dutchies, Bart and Neptune, and then Malinois, Rufus, Zorro, G Mustang, Bendigo, Rex, and King Kong.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay. Let me ask you something that's just from your experience. Um, the contribution of the male and the female. I hear a lot of talk about this. I just want to get your experience on it.
Okay.
genetically, we get maybe a little bit into genetics, but some people say the pups pull more from mama, and some people said no, it's kind of like the genes settle where they settle. One pup might have more than dad. In your experience, what's your thoughts on that subject?
You know that's I've been asked that question a lot of times, bro.
Hmm.
And the way that I can answer is with a question. Um, well, first, before I give you that question, um, the books all say the mother. You know,
Hmm.
science says the mother, but in my experience, if you don't have that stud, you can. I mean, you have to have both. You have to have You have to. It takes a great female and a great male to produce great puppies, but you have to have that male that produces. You have great females. The female is super important. But in my experience, I've bred great females, great males, and I haven't gotten great puppies. But when I've had great females with a male that produces, then I have great puppies. So that tells me I have to have that great male in order to produce the great puppies. And then the question, answering that question with a question that I was telling you about is, for example, let's say racehorses. Do they go give the $15 million stud fees to Mrs. Secretariat?
Good point. Yeah, yeah. Oh, where you go, buddy? Come on back, Gus. Oh man. Okay, hold on. Let me message him. Hit the like button. That was a little different. That looked like an internet issue. Okay. I'm gonna get y'all questions in. I'm messaging him. So, yes, sir. Okay, yeah, I see all this fading into the black. Yeah, he lost. Yeah, like he lost service. Yes, sir. Oh, y'all getting what y'all wanted me to ask? What's up, Javier? Chicago guy, what's happening? Doug is in the house. Vic, Bruh Herrera, Terry Cornish, Bomb Himmel. Everybody's here. All right. Well, I'm messaging him. Let me see what's going on. Let me see. Hold on, y'all. Oh, it's getting more. Hey, it's getting more people in here just with me in here. Hey, what's happening? Man, I don't think he can. Hold on a minute. I'm gonna get. All right, I think he's coming back in there. Oh, you lost. Can you hear me, Gus? He got a phone call. I don't think Gus can hear me. Hey, Gus. Hold on, y'all. I know y'all hear me, Javier, but y'all don't hear. All right, he working on it. He working on coming back in. Hey, man. Hey, yes. Hey, there's two people we need to get on the show. Javier Noriega and Doug. They coming on next week, Monday at 8 p.m. We wait. Thank you, sir. Okay, there you go. Bam. Hey, man, where you at?
Hold on, bro.
Oh, you got your camera turned around. Okay. Hey, we can get a kennel tour. Come on, give us a kennel tour. Come on, y'all.
Oh my God. How in the world does this work?
Okay, you try to flip it around. Okay.
There
Oh,
it
there
is.
you go. Oh, okay. Yeah. All right.
Sorry,
It's
bro.
all good. Hey, they stayed
I
here,
got a
boy.
phone call. When I went to hang it up, it killed the camera.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Well, hey, let me get some of these questions in with
Okay,
they
buddy.
was asking you before we so I can get it's Friday. Gus hasn't had a long week. Okay, let's see here. I'm going back to these questions. All right. So do the elbows check out? I guess you was talking about on the peg lines. I think you said yes on that. Um, I'm late. Doug, has he ran into any problems with DM with the peg lines?
No, not yet.
Okay.
I've run into that with German Shepherd lines, but not with ever with the Dutchies or the Malleys.
Okay. So let's get into this. You got DM, you might have a dog or carry or something. Um, a lot of I don't know what's going on with breeding culture, but things like that. But some people are like if the dogs carry anything, they're not breeding it. But would you breed a carrier to a non-carrier if it's a great dog?
No, no, you
You
can't
wouldn't. Okay,
because you'll throw it. You have to have a non-carrier with a carrier.
that's what I'm asking. I'm sorry. Did I say carrier and carrier? My bad. Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
meant to say.
What I do is I'm very picky, bro. I like if I have anything, if I find out anything, I just give that dog away.
Yeah,
I just give it
yeah,
to a farmer.
yeah, yeah.
Find somebody who needs a dog out here, or somebody that comes to buy a dog and they can't afford them. I tell them, hey, look, I'll give you this one here. Take this one.
Right. And that's a question that came up in another podcast that we had to answer. You got to move your dogs in order to sustain a program. You can't keep every dog. You'd be like one of them breeders with dogs in travel cages all in their garage, stacked
No,
up to the fence.
no, bro.
I done
I
seen
mean,
it. Yeah.
yeah, no, you can't keep. I wouldn't keep dogs in a crate, bro.
Nah, it's crazy. Yeah.
Unless you really bring them out 2 or 3 times and you got the time to do that.
Yeah. Exactly.
You- It's a job.
Right. What should
Yeah.
be so? Hey, this is Bakari. This is a young dog trainer in Canada. 19 years old, I think. What should
Awesome.
be some differences that most people don't know between the Dutchies and the Miles?
Um, to me, the Dutchies are more calmer. I mean, it's just to me, it's the same dog. I mean, but the 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 Dutchies, I think, are more calmer. Um, the Mals are faster. They're drivier. Um, they got great agility. But the Dutchies, to me, are just better for protection and offensive bite work. I mean,
Mm,
and just like they're I just they're to me they're the same dog. But when a lot of the times, bro, Man, I've lost faith that there's pure breeds, bro. Because
Yeah,
you go to do genetics on a Malinois, and you find, you know what I mean,
yeah,
and you go
I
to do
already
it on
know.
a
Yeah,
German Shepherd, and then you go to do it on the Dutchy, and there's other stuff in there, bro.
yeah.
It's like
I pretty much was pretty much sure. Just
hybrids. I
right.
mean
Yeah,
hybrids. What I do here is hybrids. I do it
mm,
like I said, I do it like they do it in Europe.
right, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's
So
other
half
dogs
of
in there.
them come out with stripes, and the other half come out solid color, but
Yeah,
they're hybrids.
they're hybrids. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Joe, what's those bottles behind you? Man, them are vitamins, bro. New vet vitamins. I sell them joints if y'all want. And I sell progesterone machine. Eternal Animal, that's another channel. They said, Joe, we heard you ain't you going broke over there. So they gave me a whole they gave me a whole little shopping store. You can go get anything off of it: leashes, collars, progesterone machine, AI equipment, any of that. So yeah, thank you for letting me plug myself there, brother Vic. I appreciate that. Um, yeah, we are double streaming vertical and horizontal, so you may not see some people in the chat. I can see them though, and we on Facebook, we on Instagram. Okay, so Terry Cornish says, I guess when we was talking about the male and the female, Lord, I need some better glasses. When breeding, yes, both are important, but is the male important to him based on bloodlines or his ability to produce with certain females or any female?
That is true.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you have top producing studs that will throw with certain females,
Mm-hmm.
but to find the one that hits with everything, that is, I've had two in 47 years.
Mm-hmm.
It's it's super difficult, but yeah, I mean, it's an overall. You have to combine the male with the female. But if you're doing line breeding, there's not that much variety in the gene pool behind that stud, behind that dam. You have less gene pool to pull from, because when you connect on a breeding, a male and a female, you're not getting the male's gene and the female's gene to hit every time. You're getting whatever comes out from what's in the background, the grandfather, great grandfather, you know, the whole descendants. That's why you need to have less variety when you do the line breeding
Mm-hmm.
to get that consistency. So yes, it does make a difference. You have to combine the male with the female. I mean, an experienced breeder knows that,
Right, right.
yeah.
Yeah. And I
Which is what Terry is.
and it works the same way within livestock too. The breeding
Oh
technique.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, of
I
course.
think they that's what they want to do. Because you can see the variances just in humans, brothers and sisters, man. Shoot, it's a lot of it,
Yeah,
it's some
that's
behavior differences in between. You might have a step brother or sister. You could tell, man, this dude's different, way different than I am. You know what I mean? Yeah. You- I mean, it's just the honest to God truth. The Chicago guy, he asks us best advice and our options for an individual want to get into the business and training as well.
that's a tough one. I mean, you gotta love this, bro. You have to love this. I mean, when I started, I would train and record all my trainings, and then at night, when I got home all beat up after I took a shower and ate dinner and laid down in bed, I would put on the VHS tapes, watch myself, all the work that I did that day, and then I would say, "Oh, I can do that better. I should next time I go to work guards. I'm gonna do it a lot different." You see your own mistakes and you learn from your own mistakes and you keep improving. You got to be a student. Like my philosophy was when I started, okay, I'm just starting. The guys that are ahead of the game in the sport that I was in, were working every day at least 4 to 5 hours. And then I said, okay, they're working 4 to 5 hours. I'm going to work 8 hours, and then I'm going to study 2 or 3 more until I catch up in my work and my training
Right.
and my decoy work and my handling and my as a trainer overall. So you really have to put in the time. You got to put in the dedication. You got to want to be in that suit all day long, catching dogs and working with guys that are helping you become a better decoy. That's my advice. Just get out in the field and train every day. But only guys that love this do that.
One
So
thing.
if that young fella
Mhm.
loves training, he stay in
Yeah.
the club all day, bro. Touch everybody's dog. Be the first guy in the field and the last guy.
One thing about you too is you put it like you said. You recorded yourself a lot. You tripods, cameras, phones, and everything. I think you guys, if y'all into it, you might want to invest in that tripod to watch yourself record. But you
I
got
did
some,
that.
yeah, you
I
got some
did that.
recordings from way back in the day.
Yeah, we did that.
Yeah,
We used to have that big old camera, the VHS. So you stick the VHS
yeah,
in, and we would give it to the other decoy that was waiting, or the handler that was waiting, and he would follow us around and record everything.
right, right.
Yeah,
So Doug wanted me to clear up something that he was asking. Dang it, what I do with it? Okay, wait a minute. Okay, here it is. Davidson, I'm coming back to you. He says, Joe, I'm going to be more direct. Wait a minute. He was at, well, what did I do with that message? Okay. Let me just start with Davidson and I'll find it. If you had a dog that exceeded in ability but fell short of conformation, big overbite, thin bone, extra small in size, etc., would you breed it or remove it from the program?
oh, remove it.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Remove it. I mean, breeding is serious. It's so serious that if you if you find out that that dog is doing something weird, or that dog is doing something abnormal, or that dog is comporting himself the way that dog shouldn't be comporting himself, and is doing stuff that's totally asinine, he's out of there.
Right.
If he's throwing stuff that you don't like, not only in the looks but in the temperament and in his attitude, how he comports himself, he's out of there. You have
Right.
to be super picky. You have to be super picky. I mean, you have to, or else you're never gonna produce quality.
Yeah. You got,
You
yeah,
have
you
to be
got, yeah,
super picky. You have to be
yeah.
super picky.
Okay. Even with that, okay. So Doug is like, I was asking you about the DM carriers. We know you don't never put a carrier to a carrier, but he was like, thanks, Joe. I meant I wasn't clear with his answer. He said, is your goal to eliminate all the carriers out the program, or is that even an issue as long as you're not breeding carrier to carrier?
That depends on the situation. I mean, there's some carriers that produce great dogs.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I've even known German Shepherd terriers that were super studs.
Mm-hmm.
That has nothing to do with it. I mean,
Yeah,
it's what the dog is producing. It's I mean it's in the breed.
it's in the breed.
It's in a
Yeah.
lot of breeds. This you nobody's been able to eradicate it. Um, you just have to deal with it.
That's right.
But
So I think you
when I
answered.
find that there's a carrier, I try not to use him. You know what I'm saying? But if the dog is throwing great dogs,
Yeah,
that's that's the where you have to weigh things out. You have to
yeah,
make a judgment call as a breeder there.
right. Because
It,
yeah, you wouldn't want to just eliminate a great dog's bloodline just because of one defect that you can breed around. You know what I
like the
mean?
German Shepherds, the Dobies, those breeds, that that's in there.
Yeah, yeah,
People have been trying and breeding programs to eliminate that for years, and it's still there. And it could come up. out of nowhere, for example, you have a dog that hasn't had it. Anybody tested positive for that in generations prior that you know of, and then you have a litter and you have one that does.
Right. Okay, I'm gonna
Yeah.
take two more and I'm gonna let Gus get out of here. John Harris says, "What is your favorite dog to train?" Yeah, yeah. What is your favorite dog to train? Whatever breed.
Man.
Don't get in trouble.
Man, let me tell you what, I love pit bulls.
Wow, really?
I love pit bulls, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I've trained pit bulls to the level of Dutchies and Malleys on the field that's for sport, and some of them were stronger.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing about the pit bull is you have a smaller muzzle. They're animal aggressive. It's harder to find one that's has aggressions, natural aggression towards humans. And in a kennel, you can't have dogs that want to fight other dogs. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's yeah.
And then you need a dog for you're not you know rearing and training dogs to fight other dogs. You're rearing dogs to attack a
I hear
human.
you. Yeah.
So you need a dog with a big muzzle,
Yeah.
so that when he puts his mouth on that arm, the muzzle comes out to the other side.
Yeah, but that goes back to what you were saying earlier. Man, they have used that APBT in a lot of dog breeds.
Oh yeah.
A lot of
Oh
dog breeds that you wouldn't
oh
think.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, I've got a friend that bred an awesome pit bull to a Dutchie.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
He's
I know.
doing awesome bite work.
Yeah.
Awesome. And he looks beautiful too. He's got a nice big head. Gave him some nice structure.
Right.
Improved the breed, I think.
Yeah.
Those
Yeah.
what do they call them now? The bull
Herders.
herders.
Bullherders, yeah. Uh-huh.
I
Yeah.
love them. But
Yeah.
my favorite dog is the German Shepherd, and I'm a
Okay.
Malinois Dutch Shepherd breeder, bro.
Right.
But in my house, I've always had a working line German Shepherd,
Working
because
line
to me
membership.
that dog has the complete package. You
Yeah.
got the working ability, you got the health with good ones, and you have the temperament that's untouchable in the canine. The
Right.
temperament of a German Shepherd is like a human,
Right.
and in the house, you got to have that.
Right. Right.
You got to have that, bro. So it's like that to me for the house, German Shepherd. But my favorite dog is an awesome pit,
Yeah.
and for working for apprehension and for law enforcement in reality, the Dutchies and the Malleys, because of the
Absolutely.
drive, because what we talked about before, they offer you everything, the total package as far as working ability, so that you as a trainer can use all the techniques in your toolbox.
Yeah.
You can
Right.
use food, you can use the bike as a reward, you can use the ball as a reward. You
Hmm.
have more to work with.
Gotcha. Now let me ask you. I got one last question, and I appreciate you coming back. But this is for the co-producer. He right down here. His name is Doug. He helped me with
Okay,
these shows.
I know.
Yeah, yeah.
I
So
see him.
so he's specifically looking into the lines of dogs you're dealing with. And is there any advice on his journey? Because he's taking his time, but one day we'll be talking. He's over here. One day he's talking over here. And he's like, oh man, I don't know. Any
Bro,
advice you could give him?
come here one time. Come here one time, and we'll get on the training field, and I'll let you see the Dutchies, the Malleys, and the Shepherds. And I'll
Right.
put you in the suit, and I'll let him catch them. That's
Yeah.
the only way to know.
That's the only way to know. Yeah.
I'll put him in the suit, and I'll let him get bites. I'll let him
Right.
take bites, and
Right.
then he can decide.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what's up. Yeah. All
So
right.
come on
Well,
down, Doug.
come on, Doug. Come on, Doug. Hey, the journey of Doug continues. Hey man, I appreciate you coming back. The trainers here, boy, they sure like it when you in here. Um,
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Much success.
I look forward to seeing your program still do what it do, maintain and be strong.
Thank you.
And you're always welcome. You got a subject, just come on back. Just
Thank
hit
you,
me up.
brother. Thank
Okay.
you.
Yeah.
It's
All right.
been fun. It's been fun.
Yes, sir. Always. Okay. You
Take
have a
care,
good
buddy.
weekend, brother.
Take you too, buddy.
All right. Thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye.